Yeah, I can see you perfect.
Okay. So let's start with Lilith and let's kind of um juggle around why you think she's not mentioned much in
Yep. Okay,
especially
so
these terms.
my my viewpoint on Christianity and specifically the testaments that are available to us as consumers of Christianity and consumers of religious text, I think it's completely intentional what is archived in order to control the narrative surrounding Christianity. The
Right.
reason why it is important that people don't see Lilith, recognize her character or her story is because Christianity serves as another function to reinforce this patriarchal capitalist society we live in. If in the first book in the Bible it mentions or reinforces the idea that's been put forward by society that women are beneath men or that we're even subhuman,
Right.
it's hard to be challenged from a religious point of view when the book physically says that the becoming of women were only being a piece of man, and the only female figure that comes before her is banished for her own disobedience.
Okay, I sorry to cut you, but it's good that you mentioned that. I wanted to go back to the part why she was being not so accepted, and
Mm,
you click on something that I realized, and that's because she refused to submit.
mm,
So there's a part where Adam, when I say he, I mean Adam, was saying,
yeah.
"Get beneath me, woman," and she refused because she was saying that we was created at the same time.
Mm.
So therefore, we should be on equal level or on the same level. Y-
Which is not insane to say, but
No.
it got her banished from the Garden
Mm,
of Eden, and then her replacement was made
mm,
from a piece of Adam's rib, and that's where we begin to see. That's where we see the beginning of creation.
right,
Oh, these are the first humans, Adam and Eve. When it's entirely the frame has been shaken to make you believe that that is so, when really the first humans were a man and a woman, which were created equally at the same time.
right. Because that's why they said. Sometimes when I read the first creation, and I mention to people that there's two different creation.
Yeah.
Because in the first creation, according to what I can remember, because I haven't got the Bible in front of me, we're just reasoning. Is the Creator created male and female at the same time in its own likeness?
Mm,
You understand me? And then later on, the second creation now is the Creator taking the ribs, taking one ribs and making taking the man from the soil, then so to speak, and take
yeah.
one of that man ribs and to make a woman,
Yeah.
and then call that woman Eve. So Lilith was never mentioned in the Bible narrative the whole time I was coming up. And I came up in the church, meaning on both sides.
Yeah.
On my mother's side, they're revivalist.
All right.
So they play the drum and dance around. And on my father's side, they're more, it's a similar type of revivalist, but my aunt, which is my father's sister, was not just a bishop, but an archbishop.
Mm,
Therefore, she ordained bishops into the church. So it was
yeah.
it was top level, so to speak.
Yeah, so it shows you that how intentional this hiding of
Mm,
certain texts in the Bible are, because I think by design the idea is that you are not taught those things. You know, some of the most committed Christians who have been Christian or identify as Christian their
mm.
entire life may not hear of many characters who are actually very pivotal to a lot of the stories within the Bible.
See.
And I think that the ignorance is a huge part of what allows the religion to work as well as it does.
Okay. I also wanted I know we haven't come to a conclusion on that, but I also wanted to talk about the ancient practices, like those cultures like Egypt, Samaria, and such, and if it in anyhow related to these type of religious practices that that we're practicing today, especially the Abrahamic religion, because um, most of the Abrahamic religion, in my opinion, is they kind of similar, and they got
Yeah.
one hierarchy and then come down. So I was wondering if you know the relationship, if you have any idea the relationship between the
Yeah.
both. Yeah.
Okay, well, I don't know. I couldn't give you a definitive start of when this relationship began, but I know that in medieval England, occultism and the church were two sides of more or less the same coin.
Mm,
It was very demonized. Those who were considered witches or warlocks were very demonized by the church, but the practices have always kind of been similar. For example, a very simple practice of making holy water.
yeah.
If you were to remove this outfit from the priest
Yeah.
and just watch what he's doing, it looks like witchcraft because it is ritualistic. A lot of Christian, I can only speak for Christianity because
Yes.
I have not experienced
The
life
other.
as a
Yeah.
Muslim. I've not
Right.
experienced
Right.
life as
Right.
a Jew. But two of the main holidays within Christianity are Easter and Christmas.
Mm,
Now, I understand the story that they sell you around these two holidays, but if you think about the things that you practice on those holidays, what do they actually have to do with your religion? What does the Easter bunny and eggs have to do with spring? What does the pine tree have to do with Christmas? And you will come to the conclusion that there is no relevance, and that's
mm,
because it is not a Christian practice. These are pagan practices, more Celtic pagan practices, which were adopted by the church mainly for capitalist purposes.
right.
And this serves as a function to Okay, I'm not a anti-religious person. I think religion is important as a function in society because it keeps people sane.
Yeah.
And I think that it is good to give some people something to live for or something to
Believe
take the
in.
stress away.
Yeah.
Feel like there's going to be a good afterlife or something like that.
See.
However,
Yeah.
I think it is insulting to bastardize very old rituals that have been happening for years before the um the popularity of Christianity, because the most similar practice I can name is winter solstice.
Right.
Winter solstice is basically a copy of Christmas, but that is just reigning in the season of winter, and it's an earth worshipping. I'm going to close this window because the main road noise, but
Okay.
I'll finish my point first. It's a praise of the earth. It's not a praise of the god. It's not a celebration of a deity of a person. It is a praise of the earth, the same way that they reign in the summer, which is what we would call Easter.
Right.
But it's similar to a winter solstice, but it's like a spring solstice where they celebrate and they reign in the new season.
Definitely. But what I was told when I was coming up in the church, Christmas is the what you call it, the is it birthday?
The birthday of Jesus Christ.
Right.
I can still hear you. Just close this.
Okay, the birthday of
Too
Jesus,
much
and then
noise.
Easter would be the time he was crucified or something like that.
Yeah.
So we didn't have any idea that there is a relationship or correlation in the two times, and that
Yeah.
it is to do with something else also.
Yeah, I think that's it's by design. If you put a story of righteousness, of sacrifice,
Mm,
um around something, then Christianity works because it doesn't give itself time to be questioned.
right.
Many followers of Christianity take it at face value and do not want their beliefs questioned. They see it as offensive. I think that I would have happily been a Christian my entire life if I didn't question it. And the moment I started to question my faith, the entire thing fell
You
apart.
realize.
I Yeah,
I
and I think many people who used to be Christian and who are not Christian anymore have the same realization. It's not this hatred of God or of
No,
organized
I
religion.
true, because I used to have a question when my eyes wasn't open, but it wasn't those areas. I was always amazed and always asking the pastor or whoever is in charge, where is
Mm,
the rest of the book of Esther?
yeah,
And the reason why I always ask is every time I get a Bible and I open and I get to Esther, it finishes at about chapter 6.
yeah,
So I was always intrigued and wondering where is the rest of it until I come across a book they call the Apocrypha.
Yeah.
And I realized that there's books that was taken out and put into something else. And then I find the conclusion of Esther.
Yeah.
So that was
Oh,
what,
nice. You got there at the end.
right. So that was one of the things that is that I also eye opening for me. That
Oh, wow.
the books we was given to work with or to teach people and to also learn from
Yeah.
was not the full story. And then
No, it's not.
right, and then I also find that there was another book that's less than that book that they used to give to the slaves. So they had the slave
Mm,
Bible that is recently been they've been talking about it. It's been popular in the news, but I knew about it when I was searching for the book, rest of the book of Esther.
I see.
Yeah,
Yeah. And
and
I don't think that the Bible is particularly too far off the truth. I
mhm,
value the Bible as a historical
yeah,
text.
yeah,
As a religious, I'm not religious, so I don't see it as a religious text. I'm a history student, so I see it as a historical text.
see,
And because of how many times it's been translated, transliterated, edited, had chapters taken out and put back in, or rearranged to change its context, I
mhm,
just think you can't see it as 100% reliable. You should always take everything you read in the Bible with a pinch of salt, especially when you're reading from a version that is translated, transliterated, and chopped and screwed, essentially.
yeah.
So,
That's also a word that I learned about 10 years ago. I didn't know there was something called transliteration.
mm,
Knowing that I'm not a learned person, I have not been to what they call school. So
yeah,
I came across translation, which I know when you convert something to another thing and it means the same
yeah,
thing. But
yeah,
transliteration now is you turn the thing in something different.
yeah.
Right. So yeah.
And that's why the and transliteration, even the smallest transliteration, can change the entire
Yeah.
meaning of
Yeah.
things. For example, um the passage in which a lot of people use to justify, example, homophobia,
Mhm.
the meaning used to be man with a boy, but over transliteration, the meaning becomes man with a man. So people go from hating pedophilia
Yeah.
with religious backing
So
to hating homosexuality
right.
with
Right.
religious
Right.
backing. And you have no clue what the original text meant because this is not the original text and you can't read Hebrew.
Another word I come across that in the King James version, it's a servant.
Mm,
But in the New English one, it's slave. The same place
wow.
where you have servant, they take away servant and put slave.
And those are two completely
It's
different
right.
things.
Somebody who serve you is somebody you actually pay. You understand me?
Yeah.
Yes.
A slave is a slave.
I went back and I turned the pages and I underlined.
Yeah.
If you see my Bible, let me just say, I could show you. You probably know it, but I wanted to show you how.
It's annotated.
Yeah, because I was looking to, I'm looking to see the similarities and the word and how they change the word and then it means something else completely
Yeah,
different. So the transliteration is something that I find out that is very misleading.
it is. It
Mm,
absolutely is.
mm,
But I guess history could water down the facts. For example, the image of Jesus that a lot of people look at, hang in their homes, put in their churches,
yeah.
is a portrait of Picasso's alleged gay lover. And again, the midwinter festivities is only just come back to me, is it was a popular thing in 4th century Rome.
Right.
And this was a thing that the Greeks and the Romans did a lot. And I think a lot of the things that have become normalized within Christianity are adapted a lot from that time period in which they started to adopt Christianity and, I guess, Christian aligning beliefs in that region.
Okay. To make it kind of digestible
Absolutely.
for those people
Yeah.
that they're trying to get to convert.
You can weave it into your current way of life because a lot of things were just culture, but when you make it seem like religious celebration, it
Mm,
makes it easier for people. You know, they do the things that they were already doing and feel like they're getting religious merit for it.
see, so now I want to come to magic, and I will tell you why I
Okay.
want. I will tell you why I want to come to magic. I was reading a book. I forget the name of the book. let me see if I can remember. The Secret History of the Worlds. That's the name of the
Yeah.
book. Yeah, by Jonathan Black. And him asks, what is the Catholic Church have to do with magic? And the priest said everything. So I, was, so I wanted to see how magic, how the magic thing go in the especially the Roman Catholic Church.
Well, I don't know a lot
Mm,
about Catholicism. However, I do absolutely believe that they are very spiritual. You know, when people say Christianity and Catholicism are not the same, it is 100%
yeah,
true.
yeah,
Because I feel like Catholicism is way more organized in terms of hierarchy,
yeah,
in terms of who can do what, in terms of who knows what, in terms of who is powerful. I think the Catholics in general, they have a lot of overlap with um getting in touch with spirits.
right, right.
So, for example, reaching those in the afterlife or reaching spirits beyond our realm, which is not something I see within other denominations of Christian like beliefs or
Right.
Bible reading believers.
Feeling,
Um,
feeling.
I think that practices such as
Exorcism.
exorcism,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it's a form of necromancy, you
See,
know.
yeah,
And I don't know a lot about Catholicism, so I don't want to spew a bunch of disinformation. But I think that their ritualistic practices are easily confused with
feeling.
that the same that a lot of Christians would call dark magic.
See. So for anyone who is watching this video and know a bit more about the magic and the Catholicism, could comment and say something so that we could come back on that another time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
revisit it.
yeah, that's good. And there was a third thing I wanted to talk about, but it's on my notes on the phone. So maybe you could speak freely about something, maybe history,
Yeah.
yeah, stuff like that.
Well, regarding the topic of magic and Christianity,
Mm,
I think that not only does not only does witchcraft and paganism influence Christianity, it also works the other way around.
see,
Lots of Catholic images do appear in like tarot cards, things like that. I actually have a Rider-Waite deck here.
see,
Um, and I think this crossover, it may be even an interlink rather,
see,
is not to be ignored. I do think that they don't have to be so separate. You know, we see Christians and spiritualists or witches or people that you consider of that like as two ends of the road, like they're on two ends of a spectrum where they really do overlap. I just think Christians have been taught to demonize anything non-denominational or anything that
mm.
they can't understand because of this culture of not questioning. um yeah, there's a lot of
It
like
is probably that's why.
medieval Catholic imagery,
Okay.
which I think is really interesting. Obviously I can't tell you if that was Rider-Waite's intention,
Mm,
but it was very striking to see when I first bought these cards, all the royalty.
yeah.
Let me see if I can find any with crosses. I don't think I have seen that, to be fair. No, I don't think so. But who knows? It might just be the art style that has a Catholic feel. But I think it is this more Roman way of portraying things that's influenced Catholicism, which
r-
has influenced this. So I guess it's not good to see them as so different from each other because, like you say, between Abrahamic religions, they seem so different. A Christian will feel like they have nothing in common with a Muslim,
Yeah.
but in reality, I believe you're worshiping the same God. You just place your saints at different levels of significance, or you have
Right.
different ways of reaching salvation. But that's just like between you and the next denomination. I personally don't believe you should preach to strangers on the street. Some think it will get them into the gates of heaven. So I guess practice is individual, but I think my main takeaway from religious studies and historical studies in general is to study what you believe in if you want to be so stone about your beliefs. If you have no ideological flexibility,
Yeah.
then you need to be 100% sure of what you believe in before you demonize the next person's practice.
Thank you. And one last thing before I let you go. I wanted to, yeah, as you mentioned, demonization. Why do you think religion, the popular religion, demonized paganism so much?
Because organized religion allows you to execute control over the masses.
Mm.
Karl Marx said that religion is the opium of the masses, and he means this literally. Religious um theory or religious belief and this normalization of not questioning the things that happen around you allow you to accept injustice at every corner. You don't feel like you could do anything. You feel like you have to accept things like there are powers that be that you can't defeat, when
Right.
really and truly, if you band together, then you can conquer anything. But religion is split into denomination by design. It's made to divide you, and you notice a lot of Christians have a lot of the same beliefs but won't attend the same
No,
church.
I know.
And it's it's because people are easier to control when, one, they won't question you, and two, they won't support their neighbor. And Christian, they say there's no hate like Christian love. I'm sure there's not going for every individual Christian,
Yeah, yeah.
but when people are trying to turn you to Christianity, especially in the street, they will first be sure to let you know everything wrong with you first. And they will never give you any answer as to how God will save you.
Mhm.
But it's this idea of I'm doing the right thing and you're doing the wrong thing that makes you feel above everyone next to you.
See.
So I do think that religion on a wider scale, but Christianity in Western societies is something that is used specifically, I do believe, against the working class and working class people of color, especially Black Caribbeans and Africans. We've been fed Christianity to our own detriment, and we don't question it. In fact, we're willing to cut off family and friends if they don't believe similarly. And I think that, I mean, it happens a lot across any
No, no,
religion, you know.
that's
But
true.
I think Black people specifically need to have a lot of unity because of the way Christianity has been mobilized to oppress us.
See.
Um, so yeah, it's a very specific kind of alley to go down when it comes to Black people and decolonizing their mindset. It starts with seeing Christianity, or the way we were introduced to Christianity, for what it is,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
which is mind control.
See.
It's to make you subduable, it's to make you accept your own oppression, it's
Yeah,
to make you feel like you should turn the other cheek instead of standing up for yourself.
yeah. Slave obey your master.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Work yourself to death, don't be disobedient, all those things.
Yeah.
So
And I'm sorry to mix up everything, but
that's okay.
now that we mentioned slavery, we're not gonna ask you about slavery because that's probably another story for another time.
That's a whole other story.
Right. So what I want to put at the end here, and it's to do with a different topic with slavery. But what do you think about reparations?
I think reparations are not only owed, but they are owed with interest.
See.
People try to treat Black people like they overreact about slavery and the consequences of it.
Mm,
Every institution, with America as the biggest example, every institution, a lot of form of governments have at their foundation hatred for Black people and their ability to liberate
right.
themselves. You cannot tell Black people to get over slavery when slavery ended and slave catchers were then right at the door the moment it ended. Slave catchers became what you know as your current police system, which systematically
Mm-hmm.
abuses people, racial profiling, police brutality, the systematic sexual assault and rape of Black women in prison, the way healthcare workers treat you like you're subhuman, how Black women die during childbirth under the NHS at disproportionate rates. All of these things happen because our current systems were taught not to care about you and have never seen you as human.
Right.
Our systems often don't need reform. They need breaking down and
And
rebuilding,
start
because at their very core, they are
a
racist.
new one again.
Exactly.
Mm.
Like I say, often I'm not saying I'm going to do anything, but I'm saying the only way to fix these systems is a revolution.
Yeah.
These systems are made to be against you. They can't
Mhm.
be fixed. So I think black people are owed more than just their 40 acres and a mule, because every time black people don't actually need anything from white people. We're able to liberate and self-sustain every single time.
Yeah.
The only problem is people don't like to see us thriving. They infiltrate our communities, they'll burn them from the ground up.
Yeah.
And I think giving black people just a corner to feel safe and feel left alone
Mhm.
would be nice enough. I don't think that in our current capitalist society that anyone's going to be giving us land or agricultural capital, but I do think that at the very least our healthcare and justice systems need to be reformed, because that is what kills us the most.
True. And sorry,
And I think
sorry, I didn't introduce you at the beginning. So I'm gonna have to chop it and then introduce you at the beginning.
that's all
So
right.
let's introduce Rasmal. This is Rasmali.
Hello.
Rasmali, greetings. Rasmali is my daughter, and she's studying away from home. So we contact time to time and talk about different areas of things. And we thought since we reason on these things privately, and I think the topic that we reason on is interesting and people probably need to hear. You have agreed for me to upload it on the channel, and you have agreed to time appear.
Yeah.
So everyone, this is Rasmali, and you'll be seeing her a bit more on the channel. And
I love it. Thanks for having me.
thank you so much for your time, because I know you have to go out, and it's a good discussion.
Yeah,
And
it's been amazing. Thanks for
the
having
next
me.
time I will organize myself proper. I will put my notes on a piece of paper.
On a piece of paper, yeah.
Yes, because I went.
Or you could text them to me.
All right. It's also I went for a walk, and half an hour is when I walk. I do a half an hour walk, and
Yeah.
as soon as I came in is when you ring.
Ah,
Yeah, so
okay. All right.
I didn't organize myself before, and I didn't organize after.
Oh, okay. You should let me
Mm.
know. I would have given you a bit more time.
I,
We
I
only use what, 30 minutes?
Yeah, 30 minutes is good. I think 30 minutes is perfect. Next time we might
Yeah.
drag it out to an hour, but we see
Yeah.
how the people them respond on this one.
Yeah, absolutely. We should start with 30-minute, 45-minute maybe, and we can
Yeah,
take
so
it to
that
an
is
hour if we see it gets popular.
yes, then we drag it out more.
All right. Well,
Yeah,
excellent. I'll talk to you later. Yeah,
thank you so
Pops.
much. Take care.
All right. Thank you.
Bye
Love
bye.
you.
The thing is, my notes is also on the phone that I'm using. So
Ah,
I will just we will just flow.
okay.
But that's the topic I wanted to start with. It's the first.
All right.
It's the thing that sit with me mostly.
All right. Let me call you from the laptop.
Okay.